we have a, yeah, when we have a break, but we don't really, yeah. Not here. We should go to the church. No? Yeah. No?
Good morning, everyone. We're going to start the next session of the program, so if you'd take your seats, we'll get going in just a second. Well, hello. My name is Bob Cliff, and I'm one of 18 directors on the Lake Tahoe Community College Foundation, along with Nancy Harrison, who is our executive director. Where is she? There she is. If you want to give some money, she's the person to see, and I'll be making a pitch for that at the end of this. The Foundation's job is to help LTCC create student success, and today's program is about student success and what it means to be a student at this college and get on with your career. Tracy Thomas, where's Tracy? Right there. Tracy Thomas is the interim executive dean of student success. She will help to show the key attributes of student success through a panel of students. We'll first start with students and how LTC has helped them with their own success. Later, I'll provide more information on the success factors that we create for all of our students. Without further ado, let me pass the microphone to Tracy, and she'll introduce the panel here. I'll be back in a minute. For a bit.
This is good. I can't really see people's faces. Just kidding. Okay, he said my name's Tracy, and I have the great privilege of working with these students. Many of them I know. Some of them I've just recently met, and they have graciously agreed to come and share their stories and talk about how LTCC has really changed their life. So I'm happy to have them, and I know you're going to be inspired by their stories. I'd also like to quickly just recognize that we have a lot of students here today as well, and thank you for being here. We have students who are in Student Senate, student mentors in equity, as well as some ambassadors. So thank you so much for being here as well. So we're going to go ahead and start off. I'd like them just to introduce themselves and just quickly share with us what they studied while they were here at Lake Tahoe Community College.
Is it on?
Yep.
Yes. Hi. Hi, everybody. I don't think it is. Is it? It is on. Wow.
Yeah.
Because I really need to amplify my voice. Sorry. So my name is Chris Seidel. I am the owner, or one of the owners of Sedellis Lake Tahoe, which is a local brewery here in town. I don't recognize any of you at all. I actually graduated LTCC with 5 different degrees. Yes, I was here a long time. I have a associate's degree in business with a specialization in accounting. I have a natural science degree. I have a social science degree. And I believe I have 2 liberal arts degrees, if I remember correctly. I transferred down to UC Davis to study viticulture enology, which is pretty much fermentation science, pretty much to learn how to brew beer professionally. And then I moved back up here and opened brewery.
Yes. Thank you. Great.
Hi, my name is Samira Fatiyar. I just did my general education requirements before transferring to UNR, where I got my Bachelor's of Agriculture Science over there, and now I'm pursuing a PhD in economics. So.
Hello, my name is Georgilis Ortega, and I work here at the college. I got my 3 degrees in here also, from business, accounting, and Spanish. And you know, studying here at the Lake Tahoe Community College not only helped me to get my job, but also changed the life of my family, since I set an example for my kids, but also with my brothers that are getting right now their bachelors.
Hi, my name's Kimberly. I just recently, in 2017, got my degree, my associate's degree in business, and I'm lucky enough to be pursuing my bachelor's degree in global business management with the Sierra Nevada College program that's here at LTCC.
we'll go ahead and let you answer this one first, okay? So we'll start from that side. So what originally brought you to Lake Tahoe Community College, and how did LTCC prepare you for what you're doing now at Sierra Nevada?
Okay, well, let me first tell you that I'm really honored that you guys have me telling my story. That's really cool. I hope you enjoyed. Let's see, I started actually at South Tahoe High School when I was a kid. I grew up here, and I thrived there. I was able to graduate top 10% of my class, and I actually was offered the opportunity to graduate from there early, and so my first college class ever was here at LTCC, and I got an A as just a kid, and so I graduated, and I went over to Cuesta College in San Luis Obispo. Yes, doesn't matter. And it was a good college and a good experience, but they lacked guidance. There was no guidance there, so I kind of just took whatever, and which is good and educational, but there's no order to it, you know. And so I was there, and unfortunately, my brother passed away suddenly during that time, and I tried to continue school, but I just couldn't. It was really, really hard on me, and so I ended up dropping out of school, and I moved over to Sacramento, and I was just a waitress, and I had no goals really, and no challenges ahead of me, and it was kind of sad and boring. And so, but then a blessing happened. I got pregnant with my son, and although it was a blessing and super exciting, as you all know, I was faced with the challenge of being a single mom, and so I'm super blessed to have my mom. She invited me. She's like, "Come back to Tahoe, and we'll do this together," you know. And so I did, and I came back. I had my son in 2015. His name's Carter. He's super cute and very smart. And I looked at him and thought to myself, I have so much potential. I know I do. I'm smart, and I should be doing something to A, make sure he knows that it's possible to do what you need to do and to be successful, and B, I just want to be something like I've always wanted to be in business. I've always thrived at business stuff. So so I was like throwing around the idea to maybe go back to college, LTCC. And then so Roberta Mason, she's my mom's like best friend. And so she heard that I might be going back to school, and she was like, jumped on the opportunity to be like, let's do this. And so she actually walked me through the doors the first day here at the college into Aaron Barnett's office. And which is, I want to tell you guys the difference between some of the college I've seen and here is the guidance. And Aaron was so helpful, and so he was like super excited to see me start, and he helped me through the whole time. And so that's a big difference here, and it really helps, you know. And I also, while I was here at LTCC, I had many amazing teachers. Let's see, there's Professor Larry Green. That was a very hard class, but it was so good, and he is excellent at what he does. I also had Professor Sue Kloss in biology. Who would have known I was good at that, right? But it had to have been the teacher, because I've never even done science before. It was the teacher. And then Professor... Yes, you were excellent. So good. Yeah. And I also had Professor John Kingsbury for accounting, 3 different accounting classes in a row, and I thrived at that somehow, and so obviously it's the teachers. It has to be the teachers because you guys are all super great, and something they all have in common here is that they all they all push you to succeed. They're all pushing you to succeed and telling you that you can succeed and that you will be great. And to hear that, it may not seem like much, but it is. And it makes you feel like, I can do this. And so I just want to thank you guys. That was really cool. And so I was able to graduate. Oh, actually, hold on. I wanted to tell you about, there was this little hiccup right before I graduated. I got a call from Drew Cunningham, and she said, oh, you have to retake business law. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's not a little class, you know? And I was super upset, and instead of just what most colleges do would just be like, yep, this is how it is, too bad. Drew actually spent her whole day trying to fight for me that I didn't have to retake it. You know, it has to do with the laws get old or new, or so you need to retake it. But she fought for me that I achieved that and got an A, and I shouldn't have to take it again. And so, so thanks for people fighting for you. I know I didn't have to redo that, and everything worked out. So thank you, Drew. And so let's see. So then I ended up graduating with the highest of honors from here. Who would, like, how crazy. And that's just, I mean, wow. And so I was a single mom, and I was working full-time, and because of the faculty and the teachers, I was able to succeed. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's good. Thanks. Okay, go ahead, Tertulis. Yeah.
What would I say about what brought me to LTCC to study? So I was working in admissions and records, and I thought, well, seeing all these students that would go to registration to register for classes, I thought, why not me? I am not too old now. So anyway, so my kids would stay, you know, because my husband and me, we have different shifts. My kids would stay at the commons waiting for me. And I thought, you know what, I really need to set an example for them. And then I started taking classes to get my first AA. And they were so happy when I got the first one that I thought, why not another one? Anyways, and I felt so happy that while they were waiting in here, well, in the commons area, the co-workers would go to my kids and ask them, are you okay? And da-da-da, because they knew that I was working in admissions and records, but that was my situation. But I was able to actually set an example for them, getting 3 AAs, and they are right now studying at Berkeley. So it's like, you know what? It doesn't matter if you have 3 kids, if you're working, if you have the desire, you're going to do it. So thank you, LTCC, because you helped me to set an example for my family.
So I actually started at LTCC when I was 15. I was kind of bored in high school at Whittel, and I wanted to do something challenging. And so my freshman year of high school, I ended up taking my first English class here, and I got an A, so that was nice. And from then on, I kind of set forth, I guess I took English 101 and 102 and finished that off. And I really wanted to graduate high school. And unfortunately, Whittel didn't really want to work with me, so I went to South Lake Tahoe, and from there they were able to help me pass the test, and I graduated 3 years early. And right after that, I continued at LTCC and did a lot of my general education requirements because at the time I really wanted to become a doctor, but things changed, and I guess that's how life is, though. I ended up going to UNR and changed my major, I think, twice, and then ended up in agriculture science, which I'm really happy about. And then some opportunities opened up over there, and they were like, why don't you get a PhD in economics? So that's what I'm doing now. But like LTCC really prepared me at UNR, especially because I I learned how to talk to professors here. I learned that people really do want you to succeed. Granted here, like Aaron Barnett was my advisor, I remember, and he was always like encouraging me to do more. And it was kind of weird when I transferred to UNR because I was like, where's the advisor when I need one? So, but I was able to, you know, get back into the groove and understand that over there they do want to help you. It's just a little bit different. But there's definitely the family vibe here. And I think that's kind of really what I miss most about LTCC. So, yeah.
So I ended up in the United States. I graduated high school in Australia in 2001, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I went to work the ski fields, as a lot of people do when they come to this town. And that lasted 8 years. And so by that point I was working in a bar and I was making good money, and I'd met my future husband at the time. And I lost my job, and I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. And I managed to pick up a part-time job, but it was very, very much part-time. And so a friend of mine, some of you may know him, Lucas Babson, who was working here at the time in the computer department, suggested that I potentially come and check out the college. And as an immigrant at the time, I didn't quite know anything about it. And so I was brought in and I went into the counseling office. And I'll admit the first quarter I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I really didn't have any direction or anything. I just kind of took random classes. And then the second quarter I managed to get all my financial aid taken care of, and I got a work study ability. And so then I started working in the counseling office. And that's what really started off my career in general and pushed me in a direction, was that I had access to all these counselors, and I definitely echo everybody else. The counseling department here is awesome. I'm a little biased, but it is awesome. And so I ended up working in the counseling office here for 3.5 years while I was taking classes here, and that's what really kept me here, was the ability to work, study, and earn money. And I did stop bartending again, I'll be honest. And so that's how I ended up here. After 8 years of partying in Tahoe, I thought it was probably time to get something going.
Good. And how did Lake Tahoe prepare you for Davis, do you think?
It's definitely a very different system. It's more like a family here, so everybody really knows everybody. I recognize pretty much everybody in the crowd right now. And I like that. That's this town in general. And so being prepared to ask questions and go to counseling offices and kind of fight for yourself. I had a similar situation when I graduated at Davis. I was missing one class. It was a plant science disease, something like that. And it just didn't fit with my calendar. And I was trying to graduate early so that I could get this business going and take some time to research and do things like that. And so I went and got a special exemption, and they actually allowed me to use my time in internship towards that class, which meant I was able to graduate a quarter early ultimately. And I would never have had the ability or even the thought to do that if I hadn't have known what to do here about talking to counselors, talking to the professors, building a relationship with them. And I'd say that's probably the biggest part.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to let you go first this time. Okay, so the next question is, what are you doing now? But we all know, right? But I'd like you to maybe just talk a little bit, if you have any future goals for yourself or your business.
I'd like my business to make money. That would be great. Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Really, I mean, as I'm sure you all know, opening a business in Tahoe is not the easiest thing. And my goal right now, we have 11 employees, my husband, myself, and 11 employees. And so keeping the payroll going is really the biggest deal. And that's a big deal in any business. But my goal is to get to a point where I don't have to struggle in that sense in the next year or so. And then hopefully build the business over time.
Okay, great. I know we have several faculty who will help you do that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Samir, do you want to talk a little bit about what your future goals might be?
Sure. So right now I'm currently a teaching assistant in the economics department. So I'm like learning about what it takes to become a professor. So that's definitely an option. But my goal right now is to take over my family's real estate investment firm when I do graduate, and then just really grow that business like no tomorrow. So I do understand to make money.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of just my future goals.
Thank you so much.
Keep working at LTCC. Try to set more good examples to my family and friends, and also to obtain my bachelor's online.
My goals right now are just to, I'm at SNC, and so I want to graduate with great grades with my global business management degree and set that good example for my son that he could do it too. And I'm pretty sure SNC said that they are willing to put you into a job towards the end, which is really cool, so I hope they put me into a good one.
Great, thank you. I guess you can start this one. This is the quick one. Since we have a lot of students here, I thought it would be nice for you to just give maybe one tip that you wish you would have known when you were brand new to Lake Tahoe Community College, and what advice you'd give a new student. Yeah, you can go. You don't have to answer. You can pass it down.
I would say always speak up. If you have problems, there are always a way to resolve problems. So if you don't have the resources, somebody else could have the resources for you. Always ask for help, especially if they are financial needs. We have the foundation who are always willing to help in different ways to the students. So if I could do it with 3 kids working and get a GPA of 394, everybody can.
Okay, I still have something. I think my best advice is to ask as many questions as you can to your professors. No question is ever too stupid.
Don't be afraid of your professors. That's what I learned. And then also talk to other students, because those are like going to be your friends later on in life. And having those classes together and learning all those things you learned in those classes, it comes in handy later on in life. So.
My advice would be sign up for financial aid 2 weeks earlier than you come to LTCC.
That's good, solid advice. Thank you. Gosh, the time goes by so quickly when you get to hear students. So Anna Molina, who's currently working in Oregon, we're going to hopefully Skype with her, but we couldn't get that to work. So she has sent us a video, and we're going to try to see if we can make it work. And if we can, we're going to watch it. It's 2 or 3 minutes. And she was going to answer some of the questions that I've asked the other panelists. So let's see.
My name's Anna Molina, and I graduated Lake Tahoe Community College in 2014. How I ended up at Lake Tahoe Community College was that when I graduated in 2011 from South Tahoe High School, I couldn't afford a 4-year university, and so the reason I couldn't afford one because I couldn't qualify for financial aid due to my status as an undocumented student. And so I wasn't able to afford it, and so I decided to go to LTCC because it was a cheaper option and it was still really close, and I would be able to save money before transferring to a 4-year university. That was my rationale. And it's funny because I didn't know about LTCC until my senior year, because I was an avid, and so the entire time there they were setting you up to go to a 4-year, but that wasn't what I could do at the time. And then how did LTCC prepare me for college? It definitely made me realize that you need to know your professors, go into their office hours. I know they tell you that all the time. They told us that all the time in Avid, but it didn't really make sense until I was at LTCC and had to engage with my professors and really put myself out there. My best memory from LTCC is the spinning classes. So the cycle classes, I really enjoyed those because the instructor, I think her name is June, made them really fun and engaging. So she set the bar pretty high for spin classes after that. And also the teachers. I had a lot of really great teachers who helped me and who were very encouraging. So like two teachers from the top of my head that I really enjoyed their classes were Sue Claus for biology. I think she was really great. And also Albert Ponce, when he was there, I heard he...
Her video is 5 minutes, so for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and stop it there because I know Bob wants to speak as well. So we'll keep it so people can watch the whole thing. Some of you certainly want to do that. So thank you so much for being, you're willing to be here today. And I know that many people in the room share in saying that. We are proud to call you alumni, so thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Do you guys want to sit here, or you can? You can stay there. There's going to be some stuff up here. If you want to sit in the first row, you could see it a little. Or, but we're not going to ask you. Why not? If you could stick around afterwards and let people chat with you for a minute after this, that would be great. Thank you, Georgilius is on the foundation board. She's an incredible resource, along with everyone else who is. So student success. We've heard examples of student success here. But what does that mean? I'm looking at the documents that we have, and it says the mission is to provide each student with a personalized approach to teaching and learning to empower students to achieve their educational and personal goals. Well, what does that mean? I simplified it. Students pick a field of study, then they achieve the degree that they want in a timely fashion. And so that leaves one big question. What degree should I get? Here you could get an AA degree or a certificate. At a university you could get a bachelor's degree. I want to take a look at this one step at a time. Would you put the first slide up? Okay, great. So the first thing is, what if you just get a bachelor or get a degree out of high school? In our area, there are a lot of contract jobs, things where you work for a season, the peak season or that. So for example, people with a high school degree often work in construction work, hospitality, industry, restaurants, recreational work, housekeeping. But these jobs are not full-time often, especially in a regional economy where we've got the summer season, the winter season, and a lot of space on each side. Actually, there are no benefits usually for these jobs. No health care, no retirement, that type of thing. The national average, and the average now includes people in unions. These are everyone from age out of college all the way up. But the national average is $40,000 for people with a high school degree. Again, I'm not sure in this area that's as possible as it is in other areas because of the seasonality of the work. So the next issue would be an associate's degree. And that's a degree that you can get here, or a certificate, either one. We give out both. A good example of a certificate is the Fire Academy. You can get out of that in a year, and then you can go on to CAL FIRE, and you can get your EMTs and things like that. You can also get an associate's degree, like in accounting, for example, like Georgilius did, and you've got all those skills and you're ready to go to work. The student selects the field. So now it's different than high school. You're not getting a job that's available at a restaurant or on construction or something. You're selecting what you want to go into. The other thing is the average salary for this, nationwide again, it's all kinds of people from young to old, is about $50,000. But what a benefit. For 2 years of school, you would get $10,000 more on a national average basis. So I think that there's a strong need to let people in this community know that an AA degree or certificate is really significant. That puts you a big distance ahead. Now finally, there's the university degree, the bachelor's degree. This is available in the main. I mean, people to go to UNR and others, but if you're a California resident, you can go to a UC school. So you've got UC Davis, Berkeley, UCLA, UC Santa Cruz, those schools are available. You could also go to a state university like Sacramento State or Chico State. So this is a 4-year degree, and it's in business. Then you're again selecting your field, and you're selecting a field that you really want to be active in. So this would be like engineering, business, biology, foreign language, computers, the list goes on. Now there's going to be a difference in what you make depending on what field you pick, but everyone with a bachelor's degree has a lot of opportunity for employment. So the average salary here is $64,000. In reality, California is not this nation, and this again is made up of all kinds of people from just out of college through the end, so this is national average. But in California, we have a different situation here. So, for example, that's what I need. So for example, looking at these colleges, which are common for people here going on to a 4-year degree would go to. So for example, the top one is Berkeley, and the average salary out of school is $65,000, and over a lifetime, kind of mid-career, $130,000. So again, 2 more years of school, that opens up a huge world of income for you. But more importantly, you're doing what you love. You've engaged in something, and you heard it from these kids who really love what they're doing. So I think there's a strong issue here, financially, and also from an incentive standpoint, that you're not working at someone else's request on what the odd jobs are around. You're working in something you picked. However, we have a different situation here. Because of these salaries, and I'm going to tell you right now, I know mechanical engineers getting out of Berkeley are often hired at over $100,000 on graduation. So there's something over here called STEM in the last column, the percent of students that are in STEM. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but any science degree. So the more STEMs there are, the higher the starting wage would be. So actually Berkeley has 34% in STEM field, but the other people are getting jobs, maybe a little less money, or maybe more. Business is a good degree, for example, out of Berkeley. So I think if you kind of look at this, all of these are beating the national average, or meeting it and then beating it in the long run. So I think we have an excellent situation here in California with the school offerings that we have. So the second part is, where do you get a degree? So we could bring up this next slide. So here I've kind of summarized the costs. And I think you can see that the cost here at LTCC for the first 2 years of college is half the price of a large school. So, I need to add that this doesn't take into account scholarships. So people with lower incomes are going to get scholarships both here and at the UC system or the state university system, and that'll vary by school. But if you just look, if you had to pay your way, the cost is half at this school. And I think that in itself is really speaks well for the community college, but particularly this community college. But let me explain another part of this. And this doesn't come out in numbers, it comes out in the facts that were displayed here by these students. The second part is getting a degree at a community college is going to lead to a small school experience here at this school. So it's easy to ask questions, it's easy to meet people. One of the things I find is out of high school, a lot of these people are seniors, but they don't really understand how to get what they want. So I went to Berkeley. I had to ask to get counseling help, and I did. But a lot of students didn't, and some of the roommates actually dropped out because they didn't understand how to go and get help. Here, we have proactive counseling. And so that's that third point. So counselors will reach out to you. And I think so you're paying less and you're getting a lot more. I think our faculty is excellent here, just superb. So there's teachers to go out to. So you're learning the skills of doing education. Then when you go to Berkeley or Davis or UCLA or Sacramento State, you understand that at that point, you don't have to sit there. No one's coming to you, but you can reach out as you did here. The other thing is help with selecting a field. Often people come here and they're not sure what they want to do, and you've kind of heard that here with these students. So this is a chance at a community college to experiment a little, to try things. And because it's a more intimate environment, you can talk with the staff, you can talk with other students, and you can talk with counselors and try things out. And so I think, maybe I don't know whether I like science. Why don't I take a physics class or a chemistry class or a biology class and see what I think? It's those experiences that lead to discovery. So here's an individual who wanted to be a doctor, and now she's in economics. So that's the way the world goes. But I think those are important self-discoveries. And then tutoring. We have a tutoring center here, and as Jeff explained, we're going to open up the hours for that. At Berkeley, there was no tutoring center. You could go in and see a TA, you could see a professor, you could work with other students. So you're finding your own way. But learning study habits is integral to what we do here at a community college. And the good news is, with all those colleges I put up before, you have an incredible choice of schools to go to in California. And we are very rich as a state in those educational opportunities. I also want to say something that sometimes students don't realize. If you graduate from here, and let's say you go to Berkeley, that's my school, and so that'd be great. I got a Berkeley degree. No one asked, did you take 2 years at a community college? They don't care. You've got a degree from Berkeley. And I'll tell you what, the new president at Berkeley, and I had lunch with her about 3 months ago, said, I would rather have people go to a community college than come here. And there's a real interesting thing about that, because the land at Berkeley is capacitated. There isn't much more to build. If we had more, and she'd love people to go to community college, that cuts the lower division down. Faculty can focus on upper division courses and then on graduate school. So they're happy to have you come from a community college. So I would say, rather than feel ashamed of it, be proud of it, and go to a college and get your degree from UCLA, from Sacramento State, from wherever or Davis, and that's your degree. But kids sometimes worry about that, not even a consideration. Now let me talk for a minute about the foundation here. I'm one of 18 community members on the foundation board. We all work hard for community success, for this school's success. And I think the foundation is not key, the faculty is and everything else, but we add a complement to that. We are here for student success. That's our reason. No one gets paid on that board. Everyone donates a lot each year, and we are trying to make sure that we move along on the plans that are presented. And so I'd like to put in a pitch. Through the foundation, we gave over $100,000 this year in scholarships to LTCC students. Kathy and I gave 4 scholarships to people continuing their education. And I think that you might consider, a group of faculty might consider, what if you each put, 10 of you put $100 in for a $1,000 scholarship? Getting to know that student on a different basis and understanding what their financial needs are, because we get a declaration of what their needs are in applying for the faculty. The scholarships are really important. We also, when I joined the foundation, I started a book buying program. There were no lending books in the library, and now there is, and other groups here are contributing to that. And now we're getting away from books because of these video books. So hopefully you won't even need a book anymore. And then we last year did $15,000 in student success grants for faculty and staff. So, for example, faculty can suggest, I want to do a field trip to the Monterey Aquarium. You saw that. We funded that. Another faculty said, I want to bring in a sculptor to talk to my students about sculpture and then do a little art show. So we do a number of things, and we're going to do another $15,000 this year. So you apply for $500 to $1,000 typically for one of your grants. And then last year, we increased our fundraising in our annual campaign by 25%. So I would ask each of you to please take a look. $50 would be important for the annual campaign. Please contribute that. That's not much in the scheme of things. It makes a big difference for what we can do as a foundation. Think about putting together a scholarship for a group of you, or your family, in your family's name, or a community. Maybe you're in a club. Do something for that. So how can you help? Well, give to the annual campaign, $50 or more. Attend the Taste of Gold, our food and wine service. Establish a scholarship in your family name or your business name or group name, and pick up and see Nancy if you have questions about the foundation. She's here and be happy to talk to you after this. And now, I want to make a final remark from one of our students. So that'll take just a second. And then I'll want to thank all of you.
My name is Antonio Benitez, and I'm a senior at the University of California, Berkeley, majoring in global studies with a peace and conflict emphasis. I'm a first-generation college student who dropped out of high school due to multiple stressors at that time. I first learned about Lake Tahoe Community College when I was up in Tahoe camping. I decided to grab a catalog and look through the classes. I soon found out that I could major in music, something that I really love and I'm passionate about. After taking several classes, I started to notice that I really enjoyed learning. After talking to my counselor, several of my mentors and my peers, I decided to make the transition and apply for a four-year university. And now, I'm at the University of California, Berkeley. I spent about 3 years at Lake Tahoe Community College. I was independent, and I chose to go to school and work at the same time. My first semester at UC Berkeley was a little challenging. New people, new town, rigorous work. But thankfully, Lake Tahoe Community College and the education I received there, plus my commitment to learn, really helped me out and prepared me for this moment. Once I get my bachelor's degree, I plan to pursue higher education and go to graduate school, either here at UC Berkeley, Stanford, or the University of Pennsylvania.
Well, you've certainly seen student success here today, and I guess what I want to say is thanks to our community, especially thanks to LTC staff, faculty, and to the students. This is student success. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, I put a little paper together. It was published in the online news. If you want to pick this up, this is an article kind of recapping some of the things we've discussed. Please help yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. So thank you so much. Thanks again for the students that showed up today to share their stories. We really appreciate that. So we do have a short break. Victor Rios will be here at 11 o'clock. So we have, I think, about 10 or 12 minutes. You want to take a quick break and then be back in your seats for his presentation. Thank you.